It probably won't have escaped your attention that Jeep has been relatively small fish in the UK in these past few years, but this, the new Avenger 4xe North Face, could be the car to turn that around. Not only because it will appeal to off-roading enthusiasts, but also because I think it'll appeal to fashionable urbanites. Now the changes are relatively substantial. I mean, at the front over here, you've still got your traditional Jeep stuff like this 7 slatted grille up here, but look, there are changes to the front bumper. It's chunkier, and you'll also notice the fog lights are a little bit higher, and that is to lift them out of the way of off-roading things so they don't get smashed, apparently. Also on the nose of this North Face model, we've got this matted section on the nose, and it's actually North Face branded, but it serves a purpose because apparently it stops annoying reflections bouncing off into your eyes so you can off-road more safely. Now at the side of the car is where the biggest changes come, at least from an off-roading perspective, and that's because you'll see we've got a raised ride height, and also on this particular car we've got these off-road capable tyres, which are actually so soft that when you push in the rubber it's a bit like bubblegum. Normally, and as standard, you'd be getting all season, but these tyres will be putting to the test today because we're actually going to go off-road. At the back of the car, if you look at the top, you'll actually spot we've got a pair of standard fit roof rails because Jeep wants you to go on proper adventures in this car. And it's also put a standard fit tow hook on the rear here. Now, they reckon it's for you to pull other cars out of the muck, but of course, if you get stuck, that might also come in quite usefully as well. And really to emphasize the rugged and adventurous vibe of this car is the fact that you get a standard 2-man tent as well. There's one in the boot of this one, because Jeep really wants people to go on adventures. Inside, the theme continues. You can't miss the seats because of the yellow flashes on them, but they're actually functional because they're made of a material that is easy to wipe down. So if you get them wet or mucky, it doesn't matter. You can just clean them with a wet cloth. And the same is true for the rubber mats as well, because this is an interior Jeep reckons you can use properly. Now, there are also flashes of other off-roady things. I mean, on the dash, there's a Mont Blanc, I think the map symbol, and you've also got a picture of Mont Blanc as well. But otherwise, it is just standard Avenger affair, which means you've got the same quick reacting and simple to use tech and clear graphics ahead. Plus, you also get buttons where it matters for the climate control, and there is decent amounts of storage as well. This is familiar, but just uplifted. In the back now, it is very much still an Avenger affair in the sense that there's not a load of space. Leg room and foot room is okay, and I'm just under 6 foot, but it's not great. It's definitely not the best in the class. Headroom is okay, to be fair, but in terms of rear space, if you need space for teenagers or adults in the back, well, it's the same problem you'd have in a normal Avenger. But you do get a few unique bits to this North Face, and those are actually related to North Face rucksacks, because anyone who's had one might recognize these straps over here. So it means you can store stuff in them, although they're a bit fiddly. I'm not sure how I feel about them, but I do like the flashes of yellow and the North Face logo. It's just a cool brand, isn't it? So it does feel a little bit more special because of it. Now in the boot, if I open the electric tailgate, it's a hybrid car this, so it does mean while we've got an okay amount of storage room up here, this is perfectly usable for most people, you don't get tons of underfloor storage because there is a battery system under there. And I'll explain what the advantages of that are in a little bit. But because this is a North Face, you do get some fun additional features thrown in, literally, into the boot. First is that 2-man tent that I mentioned earlier. It's bright yellow, the bugs are gonna love that. And you also get this North Face and Jeep branded box, which can be used as a bag and also as a table, because that's rock solid. Plus, you even get a bottle as well. So in a way, you could think of yourself as buying a 35 grand camping kit, and they throw the car in for free.
And this isn't just any old car. It's a Jeep Avenger North Face, capable, as I'm demonstrating here, of proper off-roading. There's excellent all-wheel drive traction, a clever hill descent control system, and enough ground clearance to make mincemeat of a North Yorkshire hillside, and any rivers that might get in the way of your progress. Which is going to be handy for those who live in tough rural landscapes with regular flooding, although for the rest of us, the Avenger North Face thankfully has other talents.
On the open road, now we've got our 1.2 litre 3-cylinder engine, which is very recognisable in this platform from other cars. Think of the Alfa Junior through to the Vauxhall Mocha, they all use it. And in this car, we have the mild hybrid setup. So we have 136 horsepower, but because this, of course, is the 4xe or 4xe, as I think it's supposed to be called, It means we've got the electric motor on the rear axle as well. So it actually means we have proper all-wheel drive. So when you're driving on the road, as I am now, you can see in normal mode, only the front wheels are being driven. The electric motor on the rear is just decoupled and the car's just rolling along. That increases your efficiency, of course, because it means you don't have two things working together when they don't need to be. Of course, when you go off-road, as I showed you, both can work in tandem, but on the road, it does mean this just drives like a normal Jeep Avenger, which is no bad thing, because as this bumpy UK road shows, it rides pretty well. We're on off-road tyres, and that is actually quite important because these tyres are not the best when it comes to comfort, so they say, and of course they shouldn't be as refined. And yeah, I can hear thuds and a few jiggles here and there over bumps, but I must say, they're pretty good. Tyre tech these days is good enough that you can have that more rounded experience even if they are slightly less optimized on the road. Genuinely, at normal road speed, you wouldn't know the difference. And I would say, if you're an urban fashion... Oh, there's an old Toyota Supra. Look at that. Lovely. Now, if you're an urban fashionista, I would recommend going for the off-road tyres just because they look cooler. They're more knobbly and they're going to be tougher as well on the curbs. But of course, you don't need them. And if you do a lot of motorway miles, then naturally, you're probably going to be better off with the usual all seasons, which actually come as standard on this car, so you'll save a few quid if you do choose those. But they don't look as cool, do they? Engine's nice and smooth, gearbox is quick to change, can't complain about any of that. Stick it in manual mode, you know, it's pretty swift to react. It's a very predictably sensible and economic focused engine. I mean that in the fuel efficiency sense. So yes, it's not that quick, but it's got enough electric torque that it feels perfectly capable to deal with your urban traffic. What we have over here right now. Look, bumps. I'm not going to pretend that it is completely smooth over them, but it absolutely does smooth them out, and it doesn't ever translate into anything too harsh or rough in the cabin. So the ride is good. Now, the other thing actually that's worth calling out is this hybrid setup does have, if I come off the accelerator, a little bit of regen. You can see the charge there. So it's improving efficiency, and it means I don't have to brake until the very last moment here. But like a lot of hybrid systems, it does mean the brakes are a little bit spongier than you might be used to if you've not driven an electrified car before. They're nowhere near the worst in that case, and there are much worse culprits out there for spongy brakes, but they're definitely a little bit less natural feeling initially. Takes a bit of getting used to. Definitely one to try before you buy. Okay, here we're getting onto the country road. So let me click through the drive modes. Of course, we have a snow mode. Not going to be testing that in the middle of summer, are we? But let's get into sport mode. I'm going to put it back into manual, drop down into second, and then I'm going to go from 20. Let's see how quickly we can get to the speed limit. Oh, it auto shifted down for me there. It actually wanted to be in first, I think. So here we go, up to 60, almost there. So it's perfectly quick enough, but at no point are you being pushed back into your seat. Sounds quite good, doesn't it? Here's where I'm noticing the road noise though on these off-road focused tyres. Definitely not one to get if you do a lot of higher speed cruising.
Potentially the most surprising of all is how good handling the Avenger is. Even with its optional off-road boots, it's keen to turn and also stable, so you can make good progress along a twisting country route with confidence.
So that's my quick first drive in the Jeep Avenger 4xe North Face. What do I think of it? Well, I thought it was really impressive off-road, and I think on-road it's still lovely to drive. So both for off-road enthusiasts and for your fashionable urbanites, this is an alternative car to the usual stuff everyone's driving. I think it's actually really good fun, but if those small rear seats are a bit of a problem for you, well, rest assured there is another very off-road capable car out there, and it costs even less than this one because it's from Dacia, and you'll see how far we took it off-road in the video on screen now.